XRP might have just got the best boost it could possibly have going into a potential deadline date of the 15th. This really does, in the metaphorical speaking, put the cat amongst the pigeon. This could be both gigantic for XRP, but even the cryptocurrency market as a whole is really going to be sat relying on what is going to come in this video. It's certainly an interesting one. Now, looking at XRP, 38 cents is where we sit, 1.69% up on the day, 140% increase in volume, $879 million, $19.5 billion market cap. Again, the 7th highest ranked cryptocurrency in the world. You can see that we are up against Bitcoin, 1.18% and ahead of Ethereum. Now, you might be wondering, what is all this going on? There's tons of dates being talked about, tons of announcements coming out with XRP, but this one for me is very, very, very interesting. So this comes from a Tom Emmer. So he is a senator over in the US. I know obviously you guys over there in the US, we're going to talk a little bit about this and why this is important in just a second, but Minnesota Senator Tom Emmer has slammed the US Securities Exchange Commission chair, Gary Gensler, for his flawed crypto information gathering efforts, saying that Gensler should appear before Congress to explain the cost of his regulatory failures. That's right, regulatory failures. Emma's comments came in a December the 10th tweet to his 67,500 Twitter followers, where he referred to a bipartisan blockchain caucus letter that he co-authored to the SEC chairman in March 2016. Emma said that we now know Gensler's crypto information gathering efforts were ineffective, citing the collapse of the Terra ecosystem and crypto platforms Celsius, Voyager, and FTX. Well, here is that tweet that he is talking about. And in particular, the bipartisan blockchain caucus that he then talks about as well. And it's actually very, very interesting. I'm going to leave a link so you can come and check this out yourselves. But it is a letter signed by a number of different senators to Gary Gensler specifically. You can see here, the Honorable Gary Gensler, Chair, Securities and Exchange Commission, Washington, D.C. And in this, they are incredibly specific about what they ask for. Now, obviously, the part on the first bit is particularly talking about kind of what's going on and equally the regulatory part of cryptocurrency. But then this is the really, really interesting bit. These are specific comments and questions put to Gary Gensler in which he chose not to do anything. More importantly, the few pulls out I would do, it says, during your tenure as the SEC tested the collection method of information specifically on the crypto and blockchain industry through a pilot program, what have these tests illustrated? Okay, so again, questioning how they are gathering information. It goes on to say, when a voluntary document request is sent, does the SEC indicate to the firm whether the SEC has already launched an informal investigation into the company? Has the SEC conducted a cost-benefit analysis to determine the fairness and efficiency of the request? And it says, and this one is a very, very interesting, year by year, what is the average timeline for each company to respond to these requests? Please provide an approximate, if such, a breakdown, if not available. So very, very interesting stuff there, in which Tom Emmer is specifically asking Gary Gensler and saying, okay, what is it you're doing? I want to see transparency. There's obviously big amounts of money, both for investors and equally the government that is supporting it. Equally, Tom Emmer goes on to say the caucus received info from several sources. FTX, as we said repeatedly, was not one of them. That Gary Gensler's efforts to gather information on cryptocurrencies were not targeted, intentional, or clear. Rather, the SEC's requests were haphazard and unfocused. We know Gensler's crypto information gathering efforts were ineffective. He declined to provide Congress with the information requested in the letter, which would have informed Congress of the apparent inconsistencies in Gensler's approach that caused him to miss Terra Luna, Celsius, Voyager, and FTX. And then there is a letter responded back from it. It says Gensler has repeatedly dodged Congress at the expense of investors, hasn't publicly appeared before the House Financial Services since October 5th, leaving us to learn about the SEC's crypto investigations, like the one into FTX, through the media. Gary Gensler must testify before Congress to answer questions about the cost of his regulatory failures. Why is this important? Think about it. They are basically on a witch hunt for XRP, in which Gary Gensler is spearheading this, and ultimately it's come out and said from his own Congress team, it's all a bit of nonsense and it's all a bit haphazard. His words, not mine, and it's unfocused. It is not specific, intentional, nor is it clear. So actually, when you think about the case with XRP that has been incredibly clear on what they're doing, incredibly clear in terms of their roadmap and their product and what they are doing, and incredibly specific about the fact that it is not a security, all of a sudden the tide shifts towards XRP, and certainly for the entire cryptocurrency market. And I think it is a massive potential and could have repercussions both in terms of pumping the crypto market, but equally making more investors feel comfortable once again. And interestingly, he goes on to say about this: FTX collapse is not a crypto failure, it's a failure with centralized finance at Gary Gensler and Sam Bankman-Fried. Decentralization is the point. Watch below for more thoughts. Much of Gensler's and SEC's efforts of the past year will focus on determining if cryptocurrencies fall within the definition of a Howey test and thus are subject to US security laws, which again, we know that XRP has not hit any of those measures. So certainly very interesting. Well, what was it doing for the price? Well, currently we are seeing a bit of a move on the 1 day. We're going to mint a very strong green candle, nearly 2% up on the day, hovering at that 38 cents. Very strong support level for us. So we will see. We've got the CPI data coming out later on today, as well as the FOMC minutes, and we could even be seeing an announcement in 3 days time. Is this all just a bit too much for Gary Gensler? Is this all just coming to a head in which XRP take this win, take the W for cryptocurrency in this low case? If we do, strap in, because I think the price will go pretty crazy. Let me know in the comments down below what you think. What is your price prediction for XRP if they win the law case? And what do you think of Gary Gensler and all of this that's come out? As ever, thank you so much. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel to keep up to date with everything going on, particularly with XRP and Terra Luna Classic. And I'll see you guys in the next video.